Good morning. Welcome back to the 25-26 school year, and I can tell you're excited. So welcome to the 25-26 school year. If you don't know, our theme this year is perspective is everything. And so thinking through that and the reality that my perspective will create my perception. So a lot of times our attitudes, our behaviors, what we're thinking influences what we become. And I'm going to share a little story today. So there was a teacher, her name was Miss Ashby, and she got called into the principal's office. What does it mean if you're a teacher and you get called into the principal's office? One of two things, you're in trouble, or, hey, can you do something extra? That's right, that's right. Well, in this case, it was, hey, can you do something extra? You see, Miss Ashby's co-teacher had fallen ill, and she wasn't going to be able to continue for the school year. The problem was Miss Ashby's coworker had that class. You know what I mean? They were not doing well academically. They were a nightmare behavior-wise. They were the class that when they showed up in the cafeteria, everyone knew they were coming. And that's when they showed up to school because they were chronically absent. Ms. Ashby said, yes, I can do this. I'm a great teacher. I have faith in myself. I'm going to do what every good teacher does, and I'm going to research this class. So she went straight to the counselor's office, started going through CUME folders, researching all about every one of these students. And she came to a list that had her students with all of their data. And she started looking, and she started getting more and more angry as she read, because she was reading things like Andrew 130, Emma 115, Dion 100, Maria 111, Brianna 138, and she thought, this is ridiculous. They can do so much better. So she goes to school the next morning, and she said, the nonsense stops today. I have looked at your files. You can do so much more than what you have been showing. And the students kind of looked at each other and they sat up a little bit straighter. Now, mind you, they didn't become perfect. They're kids, but they started showing up. They started doing homework. They started performing better. Their behavior got better. Fast forward to the end of the school year, TCAP time. They take the tests, results come back. The principal calls them all into a faculty meeting, and she announces, Ms. Ashby's class has outperformed the entire grade level. Everyone was shocked. What in the world did Miss Ashby do? And the principal asked Miss Ashby, she said, what in the world did you do? Because whatever you did, we need to replicate this. She said, well, I looked in their folders. And the principal said, tell me more. And she said, well, I saw their IQ scores. And the principal said, IQ scores? She said, yeah, you know, the list. At the beginning, it had all their numbers, their IQ scores. Principal said, Miss Ashby, that's their locker numbers. But you see, Miss Ashby believed in those kids. And those kids learned to believe in themselves because they had the perspective that I can do this. So thinking about perspective, we always need to keep in mind, not every student is coming to us from the same home life. Not every student is coming to us with everything all in place at home. Our colleagues, we're sometimes going through some things. Your colleagues are, we've got brand new teachers. You've got to think about what is going on for other people in your environment and how can we lend support. I'm going to share a quote. Your perspective will either become your prison or your passport. All of us have had things happen in our personal lives, our professional lives. You can either let that define you, confine you, and stay right there. You can make excuses. Sometimes we end up with data we don't really like, and we can make excuses for that. Or we can say, we can do better, and it can launch us into what is supposed to be, something much better than we ever even imagined. I want us to keep that in mind this year and be there for our students and for one another. This school system should be the top academically achieving in the state of Tennessee, and it should be the best place to work. As we head into the 25-26 school year, I hope that you all pull back this energy and remember it on the really hard days. And you keep up the excitement, you keep up the energy that you had here today. This was an amazing morning. Thank you so much. As we head into this school year, I want you to think of one last quote. Henry Ford, who has said, whether you think you can or you can't, you are right. This year, we are going to have the highest scores yet. We are going to do everything we need to for every student. And if there's anything any of you ever need from any of us, you need to just let us know. I hope you have an amazing school year and an amazing week this week. Thank you all.